Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. What I'm looking at is a beer from Founders. Haven't had a Founders beer in a while. This is KBS Iced Latte. So, kind of a weird beer just from the get go here because KBS, Kentucky Breakfast Stout or Kentucky Barrel Stout. The S is, stout, and the KBS lineup is stouts. Well, this is not a stout. The KBS Iced Latte is an imperial golden ale with coffee, cacao nibs, milk sugar, and vanilla extract, aged in bourbon barrels. So it's aged in bourbon barrels like the KBS lineup is, but it's not. It's not a stout. It is a Imperial Golden Ale. It clocks in at 11%, just like the KBS lineup does. This was bottled on May 28th, 2025. I believe this is a 2025 release. I don't think it was available before this year. Get ready to chill with KBS Iced Latte, a barrel-aged Imperial Golden Ale that's as smooth as your favorite cafe creation. Excuse me. Crafted with a blend of coffee and vanilla for a creamy and utterly indulgent experience, aged to perfection in bourbon barrels. Every sip consists of oak notes and a silky, latte-like sweetness that's impossible to resist. So the vanilla, what did I say? Imperial Golden Ale with coffee, cacao nibs, milk sugar, and vanilla. So the milk sugar and vanilla is what's giving it the sweetness, and then aged in bourbon barrels. Okay, never had it, don't know what to expect. Let's go ahead and crack into it and just see what we're working with here. Oh, very coffee forward, which is typical of the KBS. It smells really good. The coffee, it is super kind of like that cold brew, intense roast coffee. Matter of fact, that's pretty much all I'm smelling is strong coffee and a little bit of vanilla. Like, you get that vanilla aroma in the background, but it smells like really good coffee. I'm not a huge coffee person. I do like coffee. I'm not a big fan of coffee in my beers typically because, if you want a beer and you're drinking something with coffee in it and it has a lot of coffee in it, that's all you taste. And a little bit of coffee goes a long way. It's just a very strong, pronounced flavor. And that is pretty much all I'm getting. But I will say that it doesn't just smell like your average coffee. It smells like a really good, like cold brew, intense roast coffee. I'm getting a touch of chocolate too. Vanilla, the cacao nibs are coming through a little bit. But you have to smell it for a little while to kind of get through that initial explosion of coffee on the aroma. In the appearance, it is a nice, deep golden color. It is clear. There's lots of streaming bubbles going up the glass. There's some stuff floating around in here. You may be able to see some of that. I'm not sure exactly what that is, if it's yeast or... But yeah, there's definitely some light sediment floating around. It's not like super chunky. And the sediment is suspended in the beer like a snow globe. It's just kind of floating around. It's not settling to the bottom of the glass, so it's not like super heavy sediment. It won't be noticeable when I drink it. You're not going to feel like any grit or anything, I don't think. The sediment itself you can actually see through, so it's very light, whatever it is. My guess would be it's just a little bit of yeast that was at the bottom of the bottle that got disturbed when I opened and poured the beer. But have no fear, nothing to worry about. So it smells really good, but if you don't like coffee, you're not going to like this beer because that's the primary aroma. It probably will be the primary flavor, but the cacao nibs and the vanilla are coming through. It smells like a winner though, so without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers. As much as I was getting the coffee on the nose, the vanilla is very pronounced on the palate, which cuts through that coffee quite nicely. I guess if you like iced lattes, maybe this has some similarities to that, but it's still, I mean, it's definitely a beer. It does taste like a golden ale with coffee and vanilla, and I'm getting a little bit of the oak. I wasn't detecting any of that on the aroma, but this definitely has some barrel aged qualities on the palate. I will say that it is super smooth from start to finish. I'm impressed with the balance of this beer, considering how much I was just talking about the coffee, the strong coffee aroma that I was getting. It's almost got a little bit of a creaminess to it. Well, it did say milk sugar was added to this beer, so it does have a creamy mouthfeel. Even though it doesn't look like that type of a beer, just appearance-wise, it does have a nice creaminess to the body, the mouthfeel. It kind of goes all the way through the finish, very creamy, pleasant body. The head is retaining well, as you can see, which is really nice. Slightly off-white, creamy-looking head. A little bit of glass lacing starting to form. The body, for 11%, this is pretty light. I would say it's medium body, but it's not heavy for an 11% beer. Like the KBS stouts, this is not going to be anywhere near the body of the KBS original and the stout lineup of KBS. This is really nice. I am pleasantly surprised. The oak is really starting to build on the back end, which is really nice. I wasn't expecting that necessarily based on the aromas that I was getting and that strong coffee, but the oak is really present on the back end. It is slightly warming going down, but it's not boozy at all. You kind of know that it's a little bit stronger though because of that warming effect in the back of the throat. This is a solid beer. You're getting everything that they talk about on the label. I think everything as advertised with this beer, they're coming through. The coffee is definitely there on the aroma, but more mild on the palate, nicely balanced with the other flavors. The cacao nibs are definitely there. The milk sugar is giving it that creamy mouthfeel and body. The vanilla extract is definitely in the beer on the aroma and especially on the palate. I think the vanilla is the saving grace with this because it really cuts through the coffee. If they didn't have the vanilla in this, I think it would just be too coffee forward, a little bit too bitter. The vanilla is a nice balance with the coffee. And then, of course, aged in bourbon barrels, that oak presence on the finish is really starting to come through the more that I drink it. This is a solid beer. I'm going to go... Oh, man, I'm going to go with a 97 out of 100. It's not quite world class, but for the style, Imperial Golden Ale aged in bourbon barrels with all the flavors that I just described, they hit the nail on the head. They did exactly what they were trying to do with this beer. There's a lot of hate on Founders these days, you know, but they still put out some bangers from time to time. And I still think their CBS and their KBS are just as good as they were years ago. I can't really tell much of a difference, to be honest with you. They do make some stinkers too. Every brewery puts out some beers from time to time that aren't great, but the KBS lineup has been pretty consistent throughout the years. The new varieties that they're coming out with, I think, for the most part, are excellent. This one, even though it's not a stout, it is a very, very enjoyable, excellent Imperial Golden Ale. Everything is coming through nicely. So yeah, 97 out of 100 for the KBS Iced Latte. Buy it, try it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But really, a wonderful beer from Founders. I think they really hit the nail on the head. If you don't like coffee, obviously you're not going to like this beer, but it is not too in your face with the coffee notes. It's a very nicely balanced beer. You get a little bit of everything, and I can't hate them for that. So 97 out of 100 for the KBS Iced Latte. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As I've already said before, I'm starting to repeat myself now, but that'll do it for this beer review. Hope everybody has a wonderful day, and until next time, cheers.